friends. This is Amy Pagan, and we are going to do some Amy Pagan art because it is Monday and we do art every Monday. Okay, so today is Monday, October 9th. If you live in Canada, it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And here in the United States, we are celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. Some people still celebrate it as Columbus Day. I prefer Indigenous Peoples Day. And today we're going to do something kind of Halloween themed, very Halloween themed. It's a little toad, but don't tell anybody. It's actually a witch. That's why she's wearing her little hat. She turned herself into a toad. I hope it wears off soon. Okay, so every Monday we do this class, and it's always free. I do this class with you guys because I love starting off my week with some art and a little relaxation during my lunch hour, and I wanted to share that with y'all. So if you're just joining us for the first time, we do this absolutely every Monday, right here at Amy Pagan Art, which is on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And I guess technically I'm on Threads, but I haven't done anything over there, so don't go looking for it. I think I have like one post. Anywho, so today we're gonna do our froggy. A little announcement is at the end of this month, last Thursday of the month, which is October 26th, I will be teaching a live in-person class, and we're all gonna make sugar skulls together. And I'm going to tell you about my family history with sugar skulls and why I make them today. And I'm going to teach everybody how to make sugar skulls, and everybody gets to go home with a sugar skull. And that's going to be at the Art Center of Plano. And if you want tickets, it is very limited. So do get your tickets as soon as you possibly can. And I'm not just saying that to sell them fast, like truly, because it's like a very hands-on art activity. There's very few spots. So if you want spots, you can go to the link in my bio on Instagram. I've got it posted on my Facebook page. I think it's right up at the top. And then you can also go to the Art Center of Plano, and they have it listed there as well. And it is on several calendars. What is the one that I'm thinking of? I'll think of it later. Anywho, just go to my page and I'll send you a link. Okay, so we're gonna do a froggy. And so why are we here, y'all? Before we get started? That's right, we're here to have fun, and we're just gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a relaxing little art day. Now, I know this guy can look a little, or girl, can look a little complicated. Don't you worry. For every class, we break everything down into shapes and colors, and just like that, you'll have it done. But I do ask that you do not judge yourself, that you give yourself a chance, and you're kind to yourself, and you just let yourself experience making art. Do not try to be perfect. This is not about being perfect. This is about being artistic, creative, and relaxed, okay? So just let yourself relax for this class. That's what we're gonna do. All right, if you agree, you go ahead and you give me a heart or a thumbs up. And if you want to, please share. This class is totally free. I'm not selling you anything. I just want you to start off your week with some art. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what items I'm using. And I want to remind you guys, these are just my favorite items. I am not sponsored by them. This is just stuff that I like, I use, and I think it's a good deal. So my paper that we're using today, I am using watercolor paper. It is made by Canson. It is a 140-pound cold press. And you can get it at any craft store or online. It should be, I think like the retail price is like $11 for a 8.5 by 12. But then I always cut each page down into a 4x6, which is a perfect postcard size. So you can mail it to a friend. So we're gonna do this on 4x6. You don't have to use this paper. I just want you to know what I'm using. You use whatever you've got. If you are using watercolor paper, make sure you have the bumpy side up. Okay, the bumpies kind of help absorb the water better. Today, I am going to use my favorite palette, which looks like this, and it is The colors are the classics, and it is by Prima Marketing Art Philosophy. Happy, handy little set. Really nicely pigmented, and I like it, and also very affordable. You can find that online. Brushes today. Princeton. This one is Heritage, this one is Select. Doesn't really matter, they're both good. This one is a size 6 round, this is a size 1 round. You don't have to have both of them. You can really probably do everything with the 6. I just like having the option of having a little detail brush. I've got my number 2 pencil. This one is from TEDx Plano. And in, oh, what year was that? 2001 or maybe 2000? No, it's 2001. I actually opened for TEDx Plano. You can see that on YouTube. I did some art to open up the series. And then the next year I was a salon instructor. That's what they had me do. I also have my Posca pens with me today. These are nice for adding little white highlights. You don't have to use them. I also have some colored pencils with me today, and I will try to do half with colored pencils and half with watercolor. These are by Winsor & Newton. The jury is still out on these. I just got them and we tried them out last week. I think I like them pretty much, but we'll see. Don't run out and buy them yet. I'm still testing them. Okay, so first things first, let's look at our shapes. Okay, little froggy face. See that? See his little head? It's like a football. It's also very much like that leaf shape that we use a lot. So there's that. We've got 2 circles for his eyeballs, or her eyeballs. We've got a little round tummy, and then we've just got some lines, right? And some circles for the end of Froggy's feet, the little toesies. All right, and then we have, what's that? Oh, it's a triangle. And here we have an oval. So we're just gonna focus on these really basic shapes to get our outline of our Froggy down. Do not be overwhelmed. Promise you we're gonna do this slowly and it's gonna be great. Okay, so if I used my full thumbprint, that's how big my little Froggy oval face would be. And it's pretty much, let's see, where's the center of our paper? Center of our paper is right here at his chin. Right there, right there. So here's the center of my paper. And I'm going to do a little leaf shape. And the bottom of it is going to be almost right at the center of my paper. As a reminder, I always make my pencil lines darker so that you can see them on camera, but I want you guys to make really light lines, okay? These are just like a little outline. I don't want them to interfere with your paint colors. All right, so it almost kind of looks like a football, doesn't it? There we go. All right, so Froggy's eyeballs are about the size of my pencil eraser, and they actually sit right on top of her head. So I'm just gonna wing it there. Okay, so here's the center. I'm gonna come over to the left a little bit and make an eraser-sized circle. I'm gonna jog over here. Let's see how much of a distance we've got there. If you look at your eraser, it's about the size of your eraser, okay? Or the width of your pencil. There you go, because some of you probably have already used up most of your eraser. All right, so we've already got Froggy's head on, and now we're gonna give Froggy a tummy. Okay, so this circle for the tummy is 1 knuckle wide in both directions. Up and down, or I guess left or right, north, south, east, west. All right, so we're gonna do about 1.5 knuckles, little round belly. And it doesn't have to be exact, and it's touching the bottom of the football. Does not have to be exact, okay? It's all right to wing it. Okay, Froggy's legs. We're gonna start out with just some lines, and they're gonna be the letter V. So right here is where Froggy's head is touching his tummy. I'm going to come down a little bit, that same width, like the width of my pencil, and I'm going to do a sideways letter V. See that? So this first part is about a little more than half of a knuckle long, and then 1 knuckle this way, just so it comes down to the ground right in front of Froggy. So I'm going to come over to this side and do the same thing. So it's like a sideways V. And I've got some space in between there. They're not touching. I've got space in between, like a finger's width of space. Hooray. All right, now we're going to do little froggy thighs. So here's the side of Froggy's belly, and I'm just going to do a little oval. And this one is much smaller than a fingerprint. How big is it? Let's see. It's about 2 erasers. Okay, and it's just right there on the side of Froggy, almost touching the ground, but we're going to leave some room for Froggy's foot. So I'm going to come over here, do the same thing. And then we're going to count off toes. Ready? We're just going to do little lines right here at the bottom of Froggy's thigh. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just little tiny lines. 1 in the middle, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's okay if it overlaps that leg. Don't you worry about it. Okay, same thing for these front legs. Let's do our little toesies. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are closer to us, so they're going to be a little bit longer. So these are just teeny tiny little lines, and these are tiny lines, but probably about 1/3 as big. I don't know if saying 1/3 is very helpful. Let's see. Here is my fingernail. You know, it's just tiny. There it is. Okay, so my eraser, okay, these are about as long as my eraser. Okay, and then this guy, as you can see, these are almost as long as the ferrule. They're probably about a little more than half as long as the ferrule. The ferrule is this metal part. I don't know if that's what they call it on a pencil. It's definitely what they call it on a brush, but we'll just call it the ferrule for right now. If I'm wrong, you guys correct me in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hooray. Okay. Let's see. Froggy does have eyelids, and they're just like, see right here, you can almost see it's like a little triangle that encircles his eye. I'm going to show you. I'm going to come right here to the middle. I'm just going to go around Froggy's eyeball, and I stop about halfway. So I'm just following that curve, and I stop about halfway. Really thin little line, just leaving a little bit of space, just enough space for our paintbrush to fit into. Okay, Froggy needs a little mouth, and we're going to start in the middle, which is sort of a strange place to start for a mouth, but you'll see why. Okay, we're going to find the middle of Froggy's face. This will be the middle of his football, and if I drew a line straight across, you definitely can, but let's try to make it a little more interesting. Let's do a little smile in the middle, and then pull it out to the side. And we can make it more detailed later, but that's perfect for right now. Okay, let's make the oval brim of Froggy's hat. And it is 1, 2, a little bit more than 2 knuckles long. And it's going to be, the top of it is going to be right above Froggy's eyes. We're just going to skim right above Froggy's eyes, and I'm going to keep going now. I've got an oval, and I'm going to continue it on the other side. If it helps you to draw all the way through, you totally can. Just we'll erase extra lines later. Okay, this triangle on the top of Froggy's hat is almost 2 knuckles high. Almost, not quite, but almost. So here's 2 knuckles. I'll just mark that with a little dot. And let's make a triangle. Ready? I'm going to come over here. Here's the side of Froggy's head. That's a little too far. Here's the side of Froggy's eyeballs. That's probably a better marking spot. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to let my triangle kind of bend to the side. Here's the other side of Froggy's eyeball there. Come on up to this triangle and let it bend to the side. I know this is a lot of sketching. We're almost done. Okay, we're going to do this cute little band across Froggy's hat. So I'm just going to do a rectangle right across. See how it's a rectangle now? I just did one little curvy line. Then we're going to make a square right in the middle and a square in the middle of that. The square, boop, is about the size of our pencil eraser again. Don't get too concerned about trying to make the square perfect. It really doesn't matter. It's just about having fun. Okay. One more little line I want you to be aware of is where Froggy's belly is going to stick out. And I like to think of it as like his little armpits. So we're going to make these little arms fatter so you can see where the armpits are. Okay, here's our line that we drew. We're going to come over about the width of a pencil and copy that line. So that's the top of Froggy's arm. And then I'm just going to make it skinnier as it gets down to his wrist, or her wrist. Okay, see that? So straight over here, we're going to go a little bit less than the width of a pencil, and then bring it down just like that. Okay, now if you do not like having all the extra lines around, now is a great time to grab your eraser and be very gentle. Oh, how do I get it open? I just had this open, y'all. Be very gentle so that you don't rip up your paper. Oh my gosh, I have done an excellent job getting this thing shut. Be very gentle so that you don't rip up your paper. This is my favorite kind of eraser. It is made by Faber-Castell. I hope I said that right. It's probably Faber-Castell. I don't know. Anywho, all right, so lines that we don't need would be this line here in the middle of Froggy's eyeball. So I'm just going to pat it out. Pat, pat, pat. And see these lines where I can see his thigh in the middle of his arm? We don't want that. Okay, all done. This is why I like this eraser. Ready? Hooray! Now it won't get all dried out or icky or get cat hair all over it. Okay, guess what? We're done. We're done with the sketchy part. Okay, so at this point you can choose if you want to use pencils or watercolors. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Froggy half and half. So if you are doing, I'll start off with green. Okay, so I'm going to grab my green pencil, and I'm going to come over here and outline the Froggy's face. I'm going to go all the way around that eyeball, and I'm just going to fill in. Now, if you're going to keep using pencils, you just keep going around, okay? And then you're going to color in. This is only if you're doing pencils, right? Lightly color in Froggy's face. Leave that eyeball alone. Don't color in the eyeball. Okay? And you're going to take that same color and come down here through Froggy's arm. Just do the arms. Do not do the belly yet. Just the arms, okay? And you can do his little thigh. And go ahead and count out his little toes. And each little toe is going to have a circle at the edge. Okay, let's do it with watercolors. I'm going to grab my number 6 brush. I'm going to get it nice and wet. And then I'm going to pull it. Let me demonstrate. Wet, 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 and I'm going to pull it along the side, and that gets all the extra water off. I'm going to grab some of my green here. Okay, I'm going to outline Froggy's eyeball, just like we did with the pencil. And I'm going to outline Froggy's little face, and I'm just putting a nice wash of color over Froggy's face. Now, of course, if you're using paints, you just go ahead and do his whole head, not just one side like I'm doing. Okay, same thing. We're going to come up here, Froggy's shoulder, and that front leg. I'm going to grab a little more green. I'm going to do his little thigh. And his little toesies, just following those lines. I keep saying he. We have already established this is a she Froggy. I guess it could be a he or a she. So maybe it was a wizard or a witch. Could be either, right? Maybe we shouldn't assume. Okay. Okay, so we've got that in there. And then I just want to do a nice little green circle around the outline of Froggy's belly. So if you're doing that with colored pencils, it's just going to be a nice little outline. Okay, so what we're going to do with Froggy is we're going to layer some colors to give Froggy more depth. If you're doing that with your colored pencil, I want you to go ahead and color in Froggy's front leg, but leave the back alone, so just that front leg is a little bit darker. Okay, and let that back leg be a little bit lighter and faded. And I want you to come up to where the space in between Froggy's eyes and make that a little bit darker, and come underneath Froggy's eye and make that part a little darker. But leave the rest of Froggy's face alone. Okay, if you're doing this with your paintbrush, let's just grab a little more green. And we're just going to come over here just to the front leg and the top of the chest and make that a little darker. That's just to distinguish Froggy's front legs from his back legs so they don't blend in with one another. And you may have to go over it more than once or twice. Just eyeball it and see what you think. Okay, here I used some different colors. I was experimenting. I think what I want to do is do a really light purple. We're going to give Froggy a purple tummy. Let me find my purple pencil. I just think that purple and green look really nice together. So I'm going to lightly outline Froggy's tummy. So if you're doing it with colored pencils, that's what it should look like. Just a little outline, not the center. If you're going to do it with paints, let's grab a little tiny purple. And I'm just going to come around here on the edge. Now what we're going to want to do is blend this lightly and then leave a little space so that Froggy has a highlight on his tummy. So just keep going in circles and then leave a little belly circle right there in the middle. And this one, I put it on that side, it kind of ended up on this side here. Just leave it now. We'll come back to it later. Okay, let's get this hat going. Now, if you're using paints, I want you to be careful not to let the black of the hat touch the green of your Froggy in case he is still wet. Rinsing off my brush, grabbing a little black. I am going to do a nice wash of color on this top triangle part. La la la. I'm going to leave the buckle and the ribbon that goes around it alone. Oops. I grabbed purple by accident. I'm going to grab my black. Okay. And then I'm just going to outline this little hat and carefully color it in a nice wash of black. Now, per always, you are going to be happier with your final product if you use your paintbrush and your pencil as though you are petting the object. And what I mean by that is, if this is a round object, I want you to use round strokes. Instead of just going straight scribble scrabble across, this is a great opportunity to use round. Now you'll notice this side is a lot darker. I just had more pigment. We're going to come back and we're going to color in some more. I'm going to leave a little empty edge up here at the top. Do you see that? Just tiny to show where the brim of Froggy's hat is. On this side it ended up so dark that I'm going to do is rinse off my paintbrush. Now it only has water on it, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that pigment. See how my brush just did that? Isn't that cool? It's very subtle. You might do it a few times. Rinse off your brush, drag off all the water, and then just pick up some of that pigment with your brush. That's all you need. It's got a little brim now. Not sure how well that's going to show up online, so let me show you how much. See how much of the paint that picked up, of the pigment. Okay, we want to make one side of Froggy's hat darker than the other. Okay, so since we had his little tummy bubble on this side, we're going to make this side the darker. So the left side for me is where the tummy bubble is sitting, so that tells me the light's coming from here. So we're just going to make this other side, the opposite side, a little darker. So I'm just adding a little more black, and I'm making little tiny strokes all the way up the side of the hat. At the bottom, I might come over a little bit more. There we go. And where it bends over, I'll probably do, see where that little bend is? We'll just make it a little darker. Hooray, I love it. And you can kind of have like a few little lines sticking out, makes it look cool. We're getting there, y'all. We are getting there. Oh, by the way, obviously today's class is pre-recorded. When we do this live, I usually ask y'all in between to add your jokes or comments or questions in the comments section. Although this class is pre-recorded, please do leave your jokes and comments and questions and any requests that you have in the comments. I will be looking for them. Absolutely. So please do. I love it when y'all do that. I love it when you let me know what you're doing and how you're doing and who you are doing art with today. Or are you doing art during your lunch break? Or yeah, any number of things. Just say hi. I love hearing from you guys. All right, I'm going to grab my smaller little brush and I'm going to do the yellow of the buckle. I'm just going to use little teeny tiny strokes to color it in. And now remember, I'm only doing half because now I'm going to demonstrate with the colored pencil. But whatever medium you're using, fill in that buckle so it's all nice and yellow. Leave that center part empty. We're coming back for it. And let's see, on this one I made Froggy's ribbon green. For today's Froggy, let's make it purple. Because why not, right? Okay, we're just gonna do a little bit of purple. Try not to touch your yellow. If you have a really steady hand, that's okay. It's fine. It swirled. I meant to do that. I didn't mean to do it, but it's fine. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna grab my purple pencil. We can pretend that that's where like the buckle started. Oh, look at that, y'all. Now it has a buckle. It's not just a little buckle without a little strap. Hooray. You know what I'm talking about? That middle part of the buckle, the part that attaches into your belt. I don't know the word for all these things. If you guys know the words, you let me know. Okay, purple. And I just want to make that outer edge of Froggy's tummy a little darker, and then it gets lighter as it comes towards the middle. La 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 la. Let me do that with my paintbrush over here. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Grab a little purple. Whoosh. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Just lightening that up a bit. Come here, you. And we're just gonna let Froggy do Froggy. Okay, and now I might take a little bit of water and just blend just with water so that it's not a bright white spot, but it's definitely where the light is hitting Froggy's tummy. It almost kind of looks like Froggy's holding a crystal ball. Maybe that's what's happening. Okay, and now I'm going to take a little bit of black and do Froggy's eyes. We're going to use some black and some purple. So which one do I want to do first? Okay, right in the center, I'm going to do a little circle. See right there? With my black. Oops, I did the watercolor paint on this side. That's okay. Now we'll do the pencil on the other. Silly me. Okay, so using a pencil, I'm doing a little tiny, almost like a crescent, because I'm going to leave a little white for there to be a reflection in Froggy's eyes. So just a little tiny crescent right there in the middle. And now let's grab some purple. And we're going to do the iris. That is the beautiful colored part of someone's eye. And I'm just going to do a little purple. I'm still going to leave that white space there so that Froggy has a reflection. And I'm going to leave a little white all the way around the edge. All right, let's try it with our watercolors. Come here, teeny tiny brush. Okay, same thing. I'm going to go around where the black is. But I'm going to leave a little white empty. Hooray! Froggy looks crazy. Crazy Froggy. All right, now I want to do a little more shading on Froggy's face. I'm going to grab a little bit of green and the rounded part right underneath Froggy's eyes. See here, I'm just going to do a little round, a little curvy line, and I'm going to come up and around Froggy's little eye. Just like that. Let me grab my colored pencils and show you there. So I'm going to come here, that space in between Froggy's eyes and around Froggy's eyes and coming out a little bit this way. I'm also going to come right underneath Froggy's lips and make that a little darker. So we've got a little bit of light there where Froggy's little mouth is. All right, grab another green. Come here, green. And we're just going to do a little bit of shadow underneath Froggy's mouth. There we go. Ta-da! It is kind of crazy since he uses half paint and half not. Half paint and half watercolor pencil. For a final touch, if you want, Froggy can have some little Froggy warts. So you can do that with several ways. I did some little tiny green warts here, which is going to be accomplished by just going, ooh, there's a little circle. Oh, there's another one. Oh, Froggy has one on his thigh. And maybe right here on his little face. So you can do that. If you want to use your paints. And come over here and go like, oh, there's a wart on Froggy. Oh, there's another one. Just little circles. Maybe he's got one right there on his elbow. Or her elbow. All right, let's see. I want to take a look here and see what else I want to do. Maybe I want to add a little more green around the edge. Oh, okay, one other thing we can do is, see this little beauty mark? It's also a wart, but it's a white one, and I think it looks super cute. If you want to do that, and you happen to have a Posca pen, boink, right there on Froggy's face. I kind of put it like right above Froggy's lip and right underneath his eyeball. Posca pens are really cool. They're kind of spendy sometimes, but they're a really great way to add like little white highlights. If you see here where I did like really bright highlights on Froggy, here, I'll show you right here. You can do ba-doop, and it's nice and bright. You do have white in your watercolor palette, usually. That white is better at like making other colors kind of opaque, which means you can't see through them. But it's not as great for like adding little highlights. So this is a deal. I also have, where did I put it? Oh, here you are, friend. this is another thing I use that's really good at putting little white spots on top of your watercolor painting. It is Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. Again, nobody's paying me to say this. I'm just letting y'all know which products I like. Okay, you know what we're gonna do now? Now, we're gonna pat ourselves on the back and say, oh my gosh, look at this adorable little witch or wizard frog that I just made. I'm so proud of me. And I bet Miss Amy would be proud of me too. And I would say, you bet I am. So sign your name to your work. Now I want you to take a picture of it and you're gonna send it to me through DM, or you're gonna put it in the comments of this video so that I can see how you did and everybody else can see how you did and say, oh my gosh, look what you did, it's awesome. I hope that you guys had a great time. I had a great time with you. I look forward to creating with you guys, and I will see you next Monday right here at Amy Pagan Art on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Please like and share. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Monday. Have a fantastic week. Let me know how you're doing. I want to hear from you guys. And oh yeah, and don't forget to sign up for Sugar Skulls if you want to. That's going to be at the Art Center of Plano. And on Instagram, there's a link in my bio, and on Facebook, it's a link somewhere on my page. You'll see it. It's posted there. Yeah, you guys take care. So much love to you guys. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week. Bye, y'all.